Welcome to the Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, Ed, aka the Savage Tech Man. We talk film, TV, and tech, all from a geek perspective. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube at Geek Homeworld. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Be a part of the Geek Homeworld. And we're recording. Hello. Welcome. Ed Ciucevich here, Geek Homeworld podcast with my special guest, Scott Schreiber.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It is Oscar time, and coming up Sunday, as you see at the bottom of the ticker, if you're watching the YouTube video, Sunday, March 15th, 7 p.m., 2026,
Yeah.
Oscars.
Yeah, hosted by Conan O'Brien, second year in a row.
It's fantastic. He did a fantastic job last year on the Oscars. So I'm excited to see what he's got to say. I hope the Oscars won't be too political this year.
Well, honestly, the actors haven't been too political. I think the Grammys were overly political, so the musicians got kind of got out there their statements, but a lot of the other award shows for the movies and TV, they haven't really gotten into politics much. They just wear the pins and they just kind of talk about the movies. So we haven't had to deal with that too much. And I think a lot of the time the host sets the tone too. Mm-hmm. And Conan's not political. Like he may make one joke and then move on. Right. I think the problem with the Grammys, if you're saying a problem with being political, it was hosted by Trevor Noah, and that's his thing, right? So
the thing is, like you and myself, I want to focus on the films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not really. I don't think it's the platform for it. Yeah.
But let's focus on the films and let's just look at the criteria.
So let's stop talking politics and start talking movies.
Yeah. Keep me before I go on a tangent. Well, anyway, like, share, subscribe to the channel Geek Homeworld, please. It helps us little creators like myself. And this should be, if all my editing goes well, we're not live streaming this, we're recording this, and I've got a weird contraption to how I got everything hooked up here, but you should hear it wherever you listen to your podcasts, on your favorite apps and all that, and hopefully on the YouTube channel at Geek Homeworld. That's youtube.com /at Geek Homeworld. Subscribe today. All right, all that's out the way. Let's start, and we're gonna go at a pretty good clip tonight.
Yeah, let's say one thing first about like that. I think it was a really good group of films this year. Out of the 10 Best Picture nominees, 8 of them remain in my top 20 for the year. So I'm actually really happy with the Best Picture list. The other 2. I actually haven't seen The Secret Agent yet, which is on Hulu.
I have not.
It just dropped on Hulu, so I'm going to watch that tomorrow before the ceremony. And then the other one's Frankenstein, which I think is a beautiful film. Yeah. I just had problems with the script, so it's not in my top 20. But the other,
definitely mine.
So
and just to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Dear Hollywood creators and mainly the studios, please make your films available in theaters where we can actually see them. If you want people to go to the theaters, you might want to put your films like Frankenstein. I did not get to see Frankenstein in the theaters like I wanted. So I did catch it on Netflix. Beautiful film.
And it took forever for Hamnet to come to the theater.
Yeah.
Once it got nominated.
My wife were upset because we wanted to see Hamnet, but could not see it anywhere near us. Yeah. And so anyway, please make that stuff available. If you want people to go to the theaters, you have to actually put your films in the theater for
the best movies in the theaters.
Thank you, Netflix. But anyway, so enough soapbox there. Anyway, so we're going to go through a pretty good clip on these. We're going to start with the original screenplay and work our way up to or down to, I don't know which direction, Best Picture at the end, just like they do in the ceremony. So we're going to tell you, I don't know if we're really going to say what our picks are. We may.
Yeah,
we can.
I think we'll focus on, what we think's going to win. But I'm not going to be able to stop myself from saying this is what I think should win.
And we have these nifty little things that we got from Focus Features. We got them at one of the local theaters. I know it's a little scorecard, and I'm sorry, I'm not great with my camera work here.
There you go.
But you can see some of this is who on this list of who I think will win, and we'll chime in whether there are picks for it. And the last thing I'll say before we jump right in is this going to be the year that Sinners sweeps the Oscars like Return of the King did?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it's going to be a mix-up.
It did set a record for most nominations ever with 16. I think that it got a little help and a little bump from there being a new category this year with casting, but still, it broke the record for nominations, 16. How many will it win? I think it'll win about 4 or 5. I don't think it's going to sweep, but it'll win a lot.
I think 5's fair to say, but it could be surprising. And will it be the major categories? Let's find out. So we're going to start with our first one, which is original screenplay.
All right. And up for original screenplay this year, we've got Blue Moon, which is a Richard Linklater film. It Was Just an Accident. Have not seen that. That's an international film. I can't remember what country that's from. My apologies. And then we've got Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. So I think that Sinners is your front runner here. Mm-hmm. I would probably personally vote for Sentimental Value. I think Sentimental Value has the best script. It's a really interesting script about a director, like this really established director late in his career, who's written this movie for his daughter, and the daughter will not work with him. So it's kind of that family dynamic and the price of art. And I really thought it was really well done. The acting is superb in it, and we'll talk about those performances later. But I think the hands down winner, I think Sinners will win here, which will give Ryan Coogler an Oscar. So more than deserved.
My thoughts on that, I didn't see the other ones. I only saw actually Sinners in this one, and I love Sinners. I feel, though, that Sentimental Value is going to sneak in the original screenplay.
Yeah, you think it'll be a surprise?
I think it'll be a bit of a surprise because I feel like, to me, that seems like the most original, because the elements of the horror in Sinners. What did you say? You thought Ryan Coogler watched?
I think when you say it's super original, and it is in a lot of aspects, but I do think Coogler had seen From Dusk Till Dawn, and it influenced him a little bit there. But that's just my opinion.
Right. All right. So moving along, adapted screenplay. The nominees for that in writing adapted screenplay are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams, which I did not see, or Begonia. But.
So I think again, we've got 2 films here that are kind of the front runners on most things, and that's Sinners, and then in this category we got One Battle After Another, and I do think that One Battle After Another is kind of a lock here. Yeah. I could maybe see it going to Hamnet, but I do think this is one of the locks of the night with One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson, this is going to be a big night for him. If you're not familiar with his previous films, his big films that he's done before were Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, Phantom Thread, which was nominated for Best Picture that year. So he's had an amazing career, and I believe he's up to 14 nominations. He's never won an Oscar. So I think that the Academy is going to reward him this year for this brilliant film. It is number 1 on my list this year of films, One Battle After Another. So I do think he's going to win his first Oscar of the night with the screenplay award. Yeah.
So we'll see that. Oh, I didn't change. I'm sorry. I didn't change. So that was I'm sorry.
It's okay. You'll get it.
Adapted screen. That was adapted screenplay. That was the adapted screenplay. So we think, I agree with you. One Battle After Another, I think, gets it for adapted screenplay.
I do think Begonia is super original and would love to see a win there for it, but I do think it's One Battle After Another.
So let's see if I can get my cues right here. The next category is visual effects.
All right, and the nominees there are Avatar, Fire and Ash, Part 3 of the Quint.
Not Part 2.
Part 2. No, Part 3. So we got Avatar, we got F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. And I think a lot of people were surprised by Jurassic World getting nomination here, and The Lost Bus kind of came in. I did see Lost Bus, and it's a lot of visual effects for a fire. It's like a wildfire, Matthew McConaughey film. So all the fire was digital, really well done. I think that Marvel kind of got a little screwed here. They could have put Fantastic Four in here. They could have put Thunderbolts in here, honestly, because Thunderbolts in it, the visual effects of the void when Sentry was voiding people, I think that was kind of one of the coolest effects since the blip, in Endgame, or not Endgame, Infinity War. So I don't know. I think like Marvel has a case here, but
I actually think if you watched Iron Man 3 when they showed when the people would explode and how it vaporized the people on the wall, it reminded me of that effect, but it was more dynamic.
Yeah. But
I would have put Fantastic Four for the visual effects. Because what they did with my brain's
Galactus.
Thank you, Galactus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought was spot on.
Right, so. It's the Galactus that everybody wanted, correct?
Right. Like, not a smoke cloud from Lost at the end of the other ones. So,
but what's going to win here?
Avatar: Fire and Ash, which I enjoyed the film, but it's the weakest. It only made a $1.5 billion at the box office. So what a failure, James Cameron.
I as a whole did not enjoy the movie. I thought it was basically a retread of Part 2.
Well, they were kind of filmed at the same time.
Yeah, true.
So,
but the visuals, you can't deny it. The visual effects are stunning, and he's a great world builder. So I do think Avatar is the front runner there for visual effects.
I'm going to joke a little bit later if I don't about costume design. Avatar: Fire and Ash is in there.
Oh,
I was like, it's all digital, so it's like, how's that really a costume?
But doesn't make sense.
I'm sure that's something else. But I think Avatar is going to get it. F1 would be cool, but it's going to probably be
deserving. And Sinners, Sinners had some really good effects in there too.
And that actually kind of transitions us to sound, because the nominees for sound are F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Seurat. And what was Seurat about?
I don't know.
Okay,
there's one that I never got to see. It's a foreign film. I'm sorry, international film.
Yes, international.
I believe out of Spain. That from what I've read, it has an amazing sound design to it. Sweet. So I am really curious to see it, but it just hasn't been available. I think here, though, obviously with the musical element of Sinners could win here, but I do think this is F1's category.
I do too. I won't say I think it's a lock, but I kind of feel like it should win.
It's a near lock. I agree. Yeah, for sure.
It's the strongest there. We're going to skip a few of them: documentary feature films, documentary short films, and live action short films.
Well, we're not going to skip documentary feature, but we will skip all the short films, okay? Because nobody, I won't say nobody, but a lot of people have not seen the shorts, so it's not really worth our time.
Which they're thinking.
No offense.
They're thinking the Academy or whoever it is to not put the films out, but they will put it out as a block, to watch them so you can see them before the Oscars. And it seems like they're pulling back from that, so it makes it even harder for the average Joe or Jill or whoever to see to actually see these films.
I mean, some of them I've seen are available on HBO Max, and I think maybe one of them's on Netflix, but it's not a lot of them. If you are interested in them, look them up, go see them. But we're going to skip right over those, and we're going to go to production design.
Production design. Look at it. I hit my cue. I love it. I'm getting good at this. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, so production. That was me.
Oh, is that mine? No, it's actually is my turn. I'm sorry. Okay. Now it's my turn to screw up. So production designer nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. 5 movies you'll see a lot in the nominations. So I do think this is Frankenstein's to lose. Anytime Guillermo del Toro makes a movie, the production design is incredible. I do think it's the biggest strength of the film. As I said earlier, wasn't crazy about the script, but the production design is fantastic. I will give an honorable mention here to Hamnet, because the way that they meticulously recreated the Globe Theater and for that final scene was really powerful. It was really great. So I might vote for Hamnet on that, or I might even vote for Marty Supreme, because they really put you in the 50s and made you feel, I think it was the 50s when that was set. But it really makes you feel like you're part of that period. But I just think for the grandeur of it, Frankenstein's probably your winner here.
I would love that to be the case, but for some reason, I feel like more people saw Sinners, and Sinners has got such a high profile this year. The production design of that, how they, I don't know if that goes to the technical of how they shot some of it in IMAX, and I don't know if that's not so much the production. Is that the production design?
Well, production design is mainly the sets and, okay. Yeah.
But I feel like Sinners is going to win this, and I would prefer it be Frankenstein for all the reasons you mentioned, but I feel like they're going to go with Sinners on this.
All right.
And a new category, correct? This
year? Yeah, first time
casting.
Don't understand why we get best casting before we get best stunts, but
right, or the Tom Cruise Icon Stunt Award.
But
let's save it after Tom Cruise.
And I almost feel like, I mean, the actors are being awarded with the actor categories, and so casting's in a way represented there. Mm-hmm. So I'm not quite sure I understand why we're rewarding best casting, but it is what it is, as they say. The nominees are Hamnet. No, it's okay. I'll do it this time. Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. I think from what we've kind of seen, Sinners will probably get it here. Yeah. Although I just think it's kind of funny that when you're casting Sinners, it's kind of a no-brainer to cast Michael B. Jordan, so you can't really credit the casting director for that, because it's a Ryan Coogler film, and and Michael B. Jordan's in every Ryan Coogler film. So that's a foregone conclusion. However, I will say the casting of the young boy, Miles Catton, that was pretty great. The casting of Delroy Lindo is pretty great. Woon Mi, Masaka, Haley Steinfeld in that role is fantastic.
And honestly, I know that they're doing the category of casting. Then why not list the casting director? Why not?
They will that night.
Say,
I see what you're saying. Instead of just the film,
like Ed Ciucevich casting for Sinners, like that, you know.
Yeah,
but
they probably will in the night when they're announcing it.
But casting, it's interesting. I don't know how you judge that, but for me, I feel like it's Sinners because it's such a great cast, and
and I feel like we'll see more of a pattern as years go along, but it's almost like the bigger the cast is maybe kind of an influence on how people vote. Oh, that's a big cast, and they did well with it. So,
like the ensemble cast, but
right.
What are we going to do when our AI actors are in here and actresses?
Well, they won't.
Or what if we saw Avatar Fire and Ash casting?
Yeah, right.
Because they're all.
They did cast the voices and whatnot. So.
But anyway, so we think Sinners has got casting.
Yeah.
Next is original song.
One of the other locks of the night, but what are the nominees, Ed?
The nominees are Dear Me from Diane Warren and Dear Me, Relentless. Yeah, please give her an Oscar.
They gave her the honorary Oscar.
She got an honorary, okay.
So because she had been nominated 20-something times without winning, so they gave her an honorary one a couple years ago. And I've never even heard of this movie. I've never heard of this song, but it's the obligatory Diane Warren nomination right there.
I think she's a really good songwriter, so good for her. But this one it's going to be a lock with Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, but also we have I Lied to You from Sinners, which that is a great song,
and that's what I would vote for.
That's what I would want, but I think it's going to be Golden. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi.
Yep, another song or movie that nobody's ever heard of or seen. Yeah,
and Train Dreams from Train Dreams that I did not see.
And that's a Nick Cave song. So if people are familiar with Nick Cave,
I thought you said Nicolas Cage.
No, he did. It was not. It was not Nicolas Cage.
It's not Nicolas Cage.
It was Nick Cave. A lot of people know his work, but there was a little controversy with the category when when they announced that only Golden and I Lied to You are going to be performed. Only 2 songs are going to be performed. And so Diane Warren came out and was like, oh, either all of them or none of them. It's like, well, there's only 2 songs here that anybody's ever heard and wants to see.
But honestly, I feel differently about this, knowing sometimes it's nice to go in and not know everything about the awards or where it's going. And I would actually want to hear the other songs.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Because I've heard Golden, and of course I Lied to You, which would be my pick.
Everybody has heard Golden even if they didn't want to.
Yeah, it was kind of required, I think.
But yeah, that's your lock right there.
All right, so next we have original score, and what's the difference between, for those who don't know, original song versus original score?
Well, score is just the music that underlies the film. Songs are a specific song.
Okay.
Yeah. G-Shed.
I was doing that for the benefit of those that might be watching and are about to like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To Geek Homeworld.
I'm a jerk, so here we are.
No, you're
not. Original score nominees: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hemnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. So, each score is really well done.
Yeah.
But I really love the score from One Battle After Another. It kind of keeps you. It really keeps you. It's intense. It keeps you in it. There's a kind of almost like a kind of a heist feel with it. But I do think this is another lock here for Sinners.
Yeah.
Ludwig Göransson, who's already won awards. He won for Black Panther. He won Grammys for The Mandalorian, and he's kind of on a roll in his career. And I think he's a lock here for Sinners, and
he's in his element,
and rightfully so. The music's fantastic in this film. So
cool. Up next is, I have to scroll. Something that I obviously am not taking advantage of, makeup and hairstyling.
Yeah.
And the nominees are, and I'm not even following my cues: Frankenstein, Kokomo.
No, this is why I gave this one to you, to hear you mispronounce this.
Let me try it. Kokuho.
There you go.
Kokuho.
It's a Japanese. It's a Japanese film.
Sweet.
I think it's set in the kabuki world, so that's why it got nominated.
I just wanted you to say kabuki. Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister.
All right, so here are the lone nominations for both of those.
Little known fact that's how she became the Ugly Stepsister. She ran into the Smashing Machine.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But this category we get three nominees that aren't nominated for anything else.
Okay.
Kukuho. I just like saying that. Smashing Machine and Ugly Stepsister, and I get why both of those are nominated. Smashing Machine makeup and is really impressive because it's the film with The Rock where I'm sorry, Dwayne. No, The Rock, Dwayne. Dwayne.
I think he's dropping The Rock.
He's Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
And he's wearing prosthetics to make him look like the real UFC fighter, and so the prosthetics are great.
I didn't know that.
And you gotta think in a UFC film, he's sweating a lot, and for that to not mess up, I think that's pretty impressive, and main reason why it's nominated here. Ugly Stepsister's got a lot of crazy makeup effects in it as well. There's one scene where they pull a tapeworm out of her mouth. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a horror film for those of you that aren't familiar with the film, but it's like a 10-foot tapeworm comes out of her mouth, and it's a really gross scene. But the effects are pretty impressive because they didn't really do that, right? So they had to make.
I hope not.
They had to make a practical. It's all practical effects, so worthy of a nomination there. But I think this is another case where Frankenstein's going to get the an award.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm Team Frankenstein. Alrighty, up next is International Feature Film.
And we've got The Secret Agent from Brazil, It Was Just an Accident from France, Sentimental Value from Norway, Surat from Spain, and The Voice of Hind Rajab from Tunisia. Two of these nominees are up for Best Picture, so that's The Secret Agent and Sentimental Value. So I would think that those two are your front runners for it. and I think The Secret Agent's going to win. I think you have a different take on it.
I have Sentimental Value from Norway.
Yeah. And that's the way I would actually vote, but I have not seen The Secret Agent yet.
my thought on that is maybe there's some people that want Sentimental Value for Best Picture, and this is a way to give it the best international feature film and not give it and either let it be One Battle After Another, which is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Or Sinners.
And my reasoning for Secret Agent is just looking at the precursors. It won Best International Film at the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice. Right. So I think that's kind of shows you that way people are voting. I hope there's an upset with Sentimental Value. I am going to watch The Secret Agent tomorrow, and maybe my tune will change. I don't know. But that should be an interesting category. Could be a coin flip between those two. Yeah.
And now the next category is Martin Scorsese's favorite.
The man.
Oops. Cue. Oh, I put it on a timer. Sorry, I messed the timer up. Film editing. Apparently, I would edit this, but I'm not. Film editing. The nominees are F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners.
Yeah, and I could see how Marty Supreme could sneak in here. Usually the front runners for Best Picture win here. The winner of Best Picture usually gets Best Editing. I don't think that's the case this year because I think F1 is going to take it.
I do too.
I just feel like, with the sound editing and then the film editing here, F1 will reign supreme. I could see where Marty Supreme could get in there because it's a chaotic film. If people are familiar with Uncut Gems, it's the same team that did that, and there's a lot of chaos, and I could see how that could maybe sneak in there. I think, though, with One Battle After Another and Sinners, they're your front runners for Best Picture. They could also win. But I do think F1's going to get another one. It's second statute.
Especially with Sinners, if they're trying to make some kind of history here. I could see them. That's one of the lesser kind of categories.
It'll be a tall order to get to. I don't think it'll get close to the record for wins, even though if it has it does Sinners, that. Yeah, Sinners has the record for nominations now, but I don't think it comes close to the record for wins because it'll have to hit double digits, and I don't think it'll get that close. But yeah, I think F1 takes film editing there.
Oops, you didn't see that.
We didn't. No.
Okay, film editing. So that was film editing. We think it's F1. Is going to ride away with that one or
speed away
with it. Okay. Up next we have. Is that right?
Yep. Documentary.
Ooh, I didn't even mark one on mine. Documentary feature film.
Well, did you see any of them?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why.
And to be honest, I've only seen one of them, and it's the one that I think will win. The nominees for documentary feature are The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. I believe a few of these are available to stream. I want to say Come See Me in the Good Light's on Apple. The Alabama Solution might be on HBO Max, and I know Perfect Neighbor's on Netflix because that's the one I've seen. That one I think will win. The way it's edited together is interesting. It's basically a body cam footage documentary.
Interesting.
Basically taking all the body cam off of the police and in the interrogation room after a woman is killed, is shot through the door. There's it basically follows this escalation of an event in a neighborhood where a woman was basically feeling like she was harassed by the kids in the neighborhood playing in the side lot, which she just should have just minded her own business and let kids be kids. But it escalated to where she shot one of the mothers of the kids through her door. And so I
think I've seen the preview.
Yeah. And the way that they edit through all the body cam footage and everything and put it together is pretty interesting.
Right.
So I do think that's your front runner there for documentary feature, The Perfect Neighbor. Yeah.
Okay. I have nothing to say on there except maybe the one about Putin being in the.
Yeah. If you vote politically.
Yeah. That could be one.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to some of the fun stuff here.
All right.
Directing.
All right, we're going to go ahead and do directing. And the nominees are Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. All very deserving here this year. It's a great list.
I'm surprised you didn't give me that category. Those names.
I was being nice. Yeah. Yeah. No. And I will say, I'll start with Chloe Zhao here. I usually don't really care for her movies. They're very slow and methodical.
Eternals.
But she did the Eternals for Marvel.
Ones, yeah.
But she's already won an Oscar for Nomadland. Yeah. And I thought that movie was super boring. Yeah. And there's another film that she did that was super slow and boring too, and that's kind of her thing. But
super slow and boring.
But Hamnet, I didn't feel that from this. I thought I was drawn in from the opening shot. The camera comes down through the trees. Thank you, Kira Kurosawa. And it kind of focuses on Jessie Buckley's character underneath the tree, and she's in the fetal position. And so there's this whole
You know why she was that way? She had saw her performance in The Bride.
Well, it's not her performance. She had just seen the movie The Bride, which is a mess. But anyway, Chloe Zhao does a great job with Hamnet. Safdie does a great job with Marty Supreme, creating that chaos. Coogler, awesome with Sinners. Trier was great with Sentimental Value. But I think this is where Paul Thomas Anderson gets his second Oscar of the night as Best Director. He's never won the award before. Right. I think he's going to win here for One Battle After Another, and Hollywood's finally going to crown him for. It's almost kind of like it's not a Lifetime Achievement Award, but it can feel like that. But I don't think it's a Lifetime Achievement Award because the movie's so great. So you can't really call it that. What do you think? You think
directing?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with One Battle After Another. Yeah. I think it's going to be directing. I think it's I'm going to spoil it. Yeah. I think it's going to get Best Picture.
Yeah. I do think if there's a surprise here, it's Coogler for Sinners.
Right. In both of those categories, in all the categories, I feel like Sinners it's either going to be a great year or a halfway decent year. There's no way Sinners gets these nominations and doesn't walk away with at least a handful of Oscars. So,
absolutely.
But Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, it feels like I won't say lifetime achievement because he's got a lot more life in him, but it feels like that, and it's deserving. So up next is costume design, something apparently I care nothing about because it's the way I'm dressed, but Avatar Fire and Ash, which is funny. It's so funny to have Avatar Fire and Ash mentioned in costume design when there are live actors, but it's all digital.
You still design the costumes,
I suppose. Yeah.
But then again, weren't these costumes in like the previous film and then the previous film before that too?
Sure,
so if here's the first time we're going to talk about Wicked for Good, which has 0 nominations, which it's not that great of a movie compared to the last one, but the costume design's great, the production design's great.
Yeah.
But I think there's a bias there with it because it was nominated and won last year. It won. So they're not going to nominate it at all, but they'll nominate Avatar. Like, I don't know. I have a problem with that.
Is this a similar, it's probably different, but Chloe Zhao, that, her winning for Tomorrowland, and then she's not going to win.
Nomadland.
Oh, they changed it?
Yeah, they sure did change it.
Tomorrowland's
that George Clooney Disney movie, isn't it?
It sure is. I knew there was a land involved with that. I didn't know when and where the land was. It was so boring.
Yeah. We haven't even said the rest of the nominees, have we?
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
But it was Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners.
Yeah. I feel like you could give it to Sinners. Marty Supreme and Hamnet, the period pieces, you could make an argument there. But again, and I think the strengths, again, I'll say it again about Frankenstein, the strengths of the visuals, your production design, your cinematography, your hair and makeup, and your costume. So I do think Frankenstein is your front runner here as well for costume.
Yeah. I think they're going to pick Sinners.
Okay.
I think especially I think about that little dance sequence that's kind of like we said before, it should be taught in film school. I think my wife said
the scene set to I Lied to You, which was up for best song.
It's brilliant, and just it's a great visual film as well. And so the costume design, I think it's going to be Sinners.
All right.
Up next, we have, and I spelled it properly, cinematography.
Yeah, you use spell check.
I did use spell check. I ain't gonna lie. What are our nominees for cinematography?
All right, we got Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I could see Sinners getting in here. There's some really great camera work in Sinners. One Battle After Another, I will point out the one scene at the end where it's the chase scene and they're going up and down.
I've seen memes about that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure it made some people physically sick.
Yeah.
But that scene alone is just like, wow, that's pretty great cinematography that makes you have that visceral feeling.
Right.
Again, with Marty Supreme, camera work is really right up there in it, makes it chaotic. And Frankenstein is gorgeous. But I think because of the natural lighting and the beautiful camera work or cinematography of Train Dreams, Train Dreams, I think is your win here. Is your pick is the winner. Yeah, I'm gonna say Train Dreams is gonna sneak in there.
Some love there. They're on the other track. We didn't see them coming.
But I think when people vote for cinematography, like using natural light and making it look beautiful, and really putting emphasis on the landscapes and everything. That's how Nomadland won its cinematography.
Right.
And it is a beautiful film. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. It is on Netflix. Check it out. Joel Edgerton, William H. Macy. It's really well done. I think this is where Train Dreams sneaks in and gets its lone Oscar of the night.
That may be the case, but of all the things I said of the films I talked about last year, I had my 4K television, my surround sound set up, and I watched Frankenstein on Netflix because I couldn't see it in theaters. Sarcasm. Definitely couldn't see it in theaters like I wanted to. And I was blown away by how beautiful from the first frame that film is. And Del Toro did a fantastic job of that. I feel like it should be Frankenstein. I think that's what they're going to pick, and that's definitely what I want them to pick.
All right.
I won't be upset if it's Sinners because I feel like that's the second strongest one, and then maybe third strongest for me, One Battle After Another. And hadn't seen Train Dreams or Marty Supreme, but I'm sure that their cinematography is good if they're nominated. But for me, it's Frankenstein. I hope they'll win, and I think they should.
All right.
So,
good deal.
Next is animated feature film, and the nominees are Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelia, or The Character of Rain, Zootopia 2. I think it's a lock for K-pop Demon Hunters because that's everywhere and still like one of the most super popular things ever on the streaming services now.
I think it is the most watched Netflix film ever, if I'm not mistaken.
It's very close if it's not there already. But I think they're going to pick it, but I feel like The Character of Rain looks. I don't know that I saw a preview or I saw something about it.
Little Amelie.
And it looks really interesting. And I almost feel like, I don't know if that would be considered an international film or international animated film, but I feel like the fact that it's here, an animated feature film, I feel like that could be a surprise.
And I don't think Arco's gotten much traction. I did see an interview with Natalie Portman, who's a producer on it. But which it looks good, but I don't think it has a chance. And then we've got Elio and Zootopia 2, both Disney, that may cancel each other out. I really love Zootopia 2.
And it ended up inching its way to the number one film of last year.
Oh, it passed Minecraft?
It did.
How about that?
Just barely. Yeah, it took it months and months, like 2 or 3 months into the new year, but that movie, it may still be in the top 10, and we're in March. So it's like, that was a wildly popular film. So I could see a case for that winning.
Yeah.
But I would like to see something like The Character of Rain just sneak out of nowhere and just, I feel like sometimes subtlety is better, and it should be rewarded.
I get that. But I do think K-pop Demon Hunters is the lock. It's the same studio that did the Spider-Verse films. and GOAT, which is in theaters now, about the basketball player, the Stephen Curry film. And I will say, I enjoyed K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought the humor was great, the music was great, so the animation's great. So I do think it's a deserving lock there.
And that brings us, now we're getting to some of the big categories.
We got 5 categories left, and we're into the big ones here. We're going to start on acting here.
Actress in a supporting role.
All right, so we got supporting actress. We got Elle Fanning, which is great. This is her first Oscar nomination for Sentimental Value. We've got Inga Ibsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value. You're welcome for saying that.
Thank you.
So there's two actresses from Sentimental Value there. You'll see a pattern here with that film for acting. Amy Madigan for Weapons, who plays Aunt Gladys, was kind of a meme all year. Wunmi Mosaku, who plays the Voodoo Lady in Sinners, and Teyana Taylor for One Battle After Another, who plays Profidia,
the worst mom ever.
Quite possibly. So we get into acting. I think 3 of the 4 categories are toss-ups. I think there's only a lock in lead actress, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But the supporting actor and actress are really interesting because you really don't know. I think there's 3 real contenders here. I think that, unfortunately for Elle Fanning, who I absolutely love, her and Inga Ibsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value, they kind of cancel each other out, unfortunately, and so they're kind of out of the running. But Amy Madigan won the Critics' Choice and the SAG Award for this role. Wunmi Mosaku won for Sinners at the BAFTA Awards, the British Academy Awards, and Teyana Taylor won at the Golden Globes. So you got 3 people that have all taken home hardware. And so it's kind of a 3-way coin flip, if that's a thing. Do they have 3-way coins? So it's very interesting. Who do you think's going to win?
I think it's a lock for Teyana Taylor for One Battle After
You're calling it a lock. Okay.
I think it's a lock because and I did finally watch Weapons on streaming, and that is about the dumbest movie. It did not resonate with me. I didn't understand. It didn't make sense, really. It didn't make sense to me, and I know what they were going for, but I know how viral that was.
Yes, it's
and
one
if
of
the Oscars are trying to be hip and cool.
Yeah,
they'll tie into that.
And Madigan is the only representation of that film here, so that may be why she wins, which I think she's going to win. I think Amy Madigan is going to win.
It was a memorable character. I mean, she made that character exist outside of the film.
I don't want to speak too ill of her performance, but I don't think it's that great of a performance. I think the hair and makeup do the work. And
maybe they should have been nominated in makeup and hairstyle.
But if she does win, which I do think she is going to win, I think that how do I articulate this? I think that I'm going to take it as a win for the horror genre in general. Okay. Like I think it's great that horror is getting more and more recognized at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a slap in the face to performances like Toni Collette in Hereditary, for Florence Pugh in Midsommar, however you want to say it. And this year, my favorite performance in a horror film, Sally Hawkins for Bring Her Back, was incredible. And she's not nominated, but we nominate the memeable Aunt Gladys here. And I think here people really like Amy Madigan. She's been in the business for a long time. She's married to Ed Harris. And she's a very likable person. So that has a lot to do with the voting behind the scenes too. So I'm not going to be upset if she wins. It's a win for horror in general.
Right.
Let's just take the win and move on.
Well, and I'm going to say her name wrong. Wunmi
Mosaku.
For Sinners, I thought as the voodoo priestess or whatever her title was, is an integral part of that film. And I would love to see her win.
And she could sneak in there. I mean, winning the BAFTA award, I think, gives her a real shot.
You may have said this, but Elle Fanning and...
Just say her last name.
That's not much better.
Just say Inga then.
Inga from Sentimental Value, both from Sentimental Value, I feel like cancels each other out. I got to work on Galveston with Elle Fanning. She was super sweet, wonderful.
Still the only actor or actress to ever give a film or give the whole crew a gift at the end from films that I've worked on. Same with you.
We didn't get it from Ben Foster. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's a sweetheart. She's really nice,
absolutely,
really wonderful, and it was fun to see her firsthand acting. Galveston was not a good film by any measure. No one's going to say it was, but it was a great pleasure I had in my career working in on that film and being a part of it. And anyway, the creative process is awesome, but I've lost where are we at. Okay, but I think Tiana Taylor's going to win it. I feel like, this is still her year.
So,
I think it's
so basically, if she wins the Oscar, then do you think she will covet that more than winning The Masked Singer?
I don't know. Which is cooler?
Which is better?
Which is better? I don't know. So next we have lead actress.
And I think this is your bona fide lock of the night. Lock it in. Nobody's beating Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. I will say the other nominees just because I have to. No offense, because there are a couple in here that are
some pushback on this one.
Yeah, no, because I really do love a few of these other performances. But we've got, first of all, Jessie Buckley, Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve for Reinsve. I'm sorry, I'm messing up now. Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone again for Yorgos Lanthimos' film Bugonia. I just don't think anybody's beating Buckley here. I think Emma Stone is phenomenal in Begonia. I think Renata Reinsve's even better in Sentimental Value. And Kate Hudson, this is her best performance since Almost Famous 25 years ago. So I really love those performances. Rose Byrne's great in her film. The film is very weird. It's A24, but her performance is great as well. I just don't see the unstoppable train of Jessie Buckley here.
Well, I'm going to agree with you, but also have some reservations. I think Jessie Buckley deserves it for Hamnet. It was a very powerful performance.
That final scene, I'm sorry to interject, but that final scene, and it's not just the one scene because she is great in the entire thing. As she loses a child midway through, that scene is gut wrenching. And then at the end, when evidently that's an ad lib where she reaches out her hand.
Really?
It was an ad lib. And then they just all went with it. And I imagine Chloe Zhao stopped it and was like, ooh, that's great. Everybody do it. And, but those choices that she makes, there's no more powerful performance on the year. I have one other person that I think is the best performance of the year, that it was a lead actor that's not even nominated. And I'll talk about that in just a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about me in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think this is hands down the best lead actor's performance is Buckley. Yeah.
Well, if there's an upset, I guess you'd call it an upset because I think Jessie Buckley has it locked. I would love to see Kate Hudson win it because Song Sung Blue came out of nowhere in like November, December, whenever it came out last year. And I think everyone's surprised, it was my number one film of the year. I loved it that much. And it just really, I started listening to more Neil Diamond songs. I thought Hugh Jackman was great in that. And it's based on a documentary. And it's a film that a lot of people slept on, as they say. Yeah. And it's really, is it a great film? 25 years from now, I'm going to say that's one of the best films ever. I'm still going to love it. It just, I don't know, it had a sentimental place in my heart. And I would love to see, I just really loved Kate. You just can feel the love that those Hugh Jackman's character and Kate Hudson's character had for each other.
Yeah.
And if for any of the actors out there, I feel like you would get the same feeling of like, because I guess you would, is it called impersonators? I don't know what the proper title is.
Embodying.
I don't know. We used to call them impersonators, like Elvis impersonators.
Oh, I got you.
So,
yes, absolutely. Yes.
So I feel like if any actors out there or anybody that's voting for that performance, they would really appreciate the highs and lows that they had to go through. And like when she gets hit by the car like twice, it's like her house. That stuff happens. It's crazy, but it happens. And I feel like, Kate Hudson was just so wonderful in that role and just so warm. And but it's going to be Jessie Buckley.
Well, if anybody sneaks in, it may be because The Bride that Jessie Buckley is in is such a terrible film, and it could hurt her chances. But I don't think so because people can separate that and say this performance is superb.
Well, they're saying she had this incredible high in Hamnet, and then to go to the stinker of a movie of The Bride.
Yeah.
And they said that maybe that's why they didn't release it within time for it to be nominated. But anyway, so that's lead actress for us. Now going on to supporting actor. This is where it gets fun. Is this my turn?
Go for it.
Okay, Benicio del Toro, not the who do I always what's the other del Toro I mix him up with?
I mean, Guillermo's a director.
Oh, Guillermo. Yeah, okay. But Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi. Okay, Elordi for Frankenstein. Delroy Lindo for Sinners. Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. And Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value.
Yeah. So this is another interesting category where the award wins have kind of been all over the place. Skarsgård won the Golden Globe. Elordi won the Critics' Choice. And Sean Penn won the BAFTA and the SAG Award. I got to start calling it the Actor Award because they changed it. But so it's three different people have won precursors here. My personal vote is Benicio del Toro. He's the calm amidst the storm of One Battle After Another, and I absolutely love him as an actor. I think, in my opinion, Elordi shouldn't be here. I think he's a one-note actor, but as you said to me earlier, Frankenstein is one note, so I guess
Frankenstein's monster is
Frankenstein monster.
Except the big problem with Frankenstein that you had is like when Frankenstein comes into the ship or whatever, and he's about to attack the guy. He's like, "Wait a minute, it's time for my story montage."
Yeah, that bothered me because it's like he's so hell bent on finding Dr. Frankenstein and killing him, and he's killing all these people around him, and then he bursts in the door and he's like, "Let me tell you a story." And it's like, come on, dude.
I wish they would have nominated the older gentleman, the blind man. I like that part of the story.
Okay, yeah.
Because, but that guy didn't get a nomination. But I feel like Sean Penn could get it for political reasons because he's very outspoken. But politics aside, talking about films, his performance stands out than most people in this category. I think they're going to pick Sean Penn.
Yeah, same.
Because this year is all about, to me, I feel like the track record shows One Battle After Another and Signs are the.
And as much as I love Benicio del Toro and said I would vote for him, I do think Penn is probably the better performance. It's the more memorable performance as Colonel or General. Is he Colonel or General Lockjaw? Either or. But like I remember walking out of the theater and going like, Sean Penn's winning his third Oscar.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it seemed like he was trying too hard to be, like he was trying to make it over the top. Like the name Lockjaw is too dead on.
Right. But I do think, most people don't think about One Battle After Another as a satire, but I think it is. And I think that you go over the top some because it's a satire of politics in America, right? I mean, it's essentially about the far left and the far right, and then the people stuck in the middle. Because you got Sean Penn, far right. You got Teyana Taylor's character, far left. Yeah. Okay, and then you got Leo, who's the hero, right? And he's in the middle, and he's basically all of us in the middle of this far left versus far right.
He's trying to fit desperately into both sides and finding out how he fits in the middle.
And he's motivated by his love for his daughter, right? Yes. He's motivated by his love for his family, his daughter. And I think that's middle America, right? That's the people in the middle.
That's a good analogy. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, so I get your point about Sean Penn being over the top. I don't think people are going to vote for him because of politics. I think it's the performance. Yeah. It's a very memorable performance.
It feels like and I couldn't remember the name when we were talking to Heath Ledger. It feels like he's trying to be a Heath Ledger type of character, the Joker,
super
villain, that kind of performance. Mm-hmm. But it feels like he's trying harder. It felt more natural with Heath Ledger, but they're different performances. Now, but I think he gets it.
I do too. I don't want to move on without talking about the other two performances, though, because I think Delroy Lindo is the scene stealer in Sinners. I think he's fantastic in it. He's never been up for an Oscar before. He probably should have been up for an Oscar for Da 5 Bloods, however many years ago that was.
Wow, yeah.
And he's so good in Sinners. And then Stellan Skarsgård, I think he could upset Sean Penn here as kind of another Lifetime Achievement Award. He's never been up for an Oscar as far as I'm aware. And, he's late in his career, and it is an amazing performance in Sentimental Value. Sentimental Value is up for all these awards because of the acting and the script. It's like those are the strengths of this film.
Totally.
And so you see it here. There are 4 acting nominations for Sentimental Value, and he could be the representative. I'm not sure Sentimental Value wins any other awards, so this could be the one that it takes home.
And I'm back on camera here. I put this in front of the camera there.
Oops.
My Oscar vote. This is cool. Focus features. I'd showed this earlier on the stream. I'm sorry, my lighting isn't great. So this is our scorecard we're going off of. That's pretty cool. So that was supporting actor. Now we're getting deeper into the big ones. Oops. This one there, right?
Yeah, but change that. So.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I got to edit this. So everybody talk amongst yourselves. Turn off save.
I'll give you a topic.
Okay. So we are at lead actor.
All right. And so we get Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. I do want to talk about each one here again, and we'll touch on the guys that have no shot here. I do think Ethan Hawke is your biggest guy, or the guy that has no shot here, even though it's a solid performance.
Yeah.
It's basically he plays Roger Hammerstein's, like the guy that first wrote with I think it was with Roger Hammerstein. No, wait. Let me get this right here.
Is it Rogers and Hammerstein? Yeah.
Anyway, he's the forgotten songwriter, and it is a good performance.
As Chalamet said, no one cares about classical music.
But he basically, it's a memorable performance because the guy it's a real life person. The guy was evidently extremely short, so they basically used camera tricks and they dug they cut out holes in the floor for him to stand in, so he's so much shorter than people. And so there's a lot of stuff like that. The makeup is great for him, but I do think he's the long shot. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is a long shot. I just don't see him winning here. I think he's great in the film, but nobody's really talking about his performance really compared to the others. Wagner Moura is somewhat of another long shot, but he did win the Golden Globe, which there are 2 awards at the Golden Globes, though. So, so did Chalamet, won at the Golden Globes, too. So I do think it's between Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. Our early frontrunner was Chalamet. He was winning all the awards. He won the Golden Globe, the Critics' Choice. But now,
his mouth.
I think, yeah, exactly. That's part of it. I think the momentum has shifted here towards Michael B. Jordan, and I am picking Michael B. Jordan to win. After his win at the SAG Awards, and then after Timothée Chalamet basically upsetting the artistic community by saying nobody cares about opera or ballet, which he may have a point. Most people don't.
The mainstream doesn't, but
most people don't pay attention to opera or ballet.
Most people in his generation do not.
Sure.
generally speaking.
But when you say that and you're part of the artistic community,
you alienate people.
Absolutely. So yes. I think he's lost votes there. I think another strike against him is he won last year for playing Bob Dylan. So people usually don't win
his best performance.
Sure,
so
very good.
Even better than Dune. I think he encapsulated.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think he's basically lost ground here because of that. And I do think Michael B. Jordan, being as humble as he is, like that, his speech at the Actor Awards was so great, and the reaction of the crowd to him. He's just a very humble, likable man. But this performance isn't just about likability. He plays two roles here.
Exactly.
And both roles, like anytime you see each character, you know which character it is. Right. He is doing things so differently with each character that you are well aware whether it's Smoke or whether it's Stack. And that's a hell of a job. And I think he deserves it. I hope he wins it. I'm rooting for Jordan probably more than anybody on the night. I really want to see this moment of Michael B. Jordan winning. I think he was like, it's kind of a culmination of his work with Coogler, right? Where you go from Fruitvale Station, which I still think is Coogler. Sinners is basically Coogler's best film since Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I think it's a culmination of that. He started with that. And then, he was Killmonger in Black Panther, which he's the best part of Black Panther.
He's arguably one of the best Marvel villains.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, he goes and he does all the Creed films with Coogler as well.
Good. Very good.
So I think this is the kind of the culmination, the pinnacle, and we'll probably see more great films out of Coogler and Jordan. But here we go. Like, crown him, please. Let's do this. Like, I as much as I really love Chalamet and Marty Supreme, I'm fully on board the Jordan train here.
I have a lot of thoughts and theories. I, like you, think that this is Michael B. Jordan's to lose. I don't look at it as it's Chalamet's and he said something wrong and he's going to lose it because of that. That may be the case. But I feel like Michael B. Jordan should be nominated twice because he did the work of two actors and made it believable. And from mannerisms to just, he nailed it. And from an acting point of view, I feel like, he did double the work. Mm-hmm. And so also, if he gets it, there's a lot of angles you can look at. If Sinners does not win Best Picture and it goes to one battle after another, like it probably will, at least one of the highest categories is actor in a leading role. And so it's going to be great for him. And it still is great for the film. But if Sinners wins Best Picture, this is just another one of those great accolades for this year at the Oscars for Sinners. Now,
and before we move on to the final, I do want to the final category. I do want to address, I think, what is the biggest snub of the Oscars, and it's in this category of lead actor. Jesse Plemons not being nominated for Begonia is an absolute crime. I believe it's the best performance of the year by anybody.
Wow.
And I'm saying that above Buckley, and that's saying a lot. I think he above Jordan. I think he carries that film so well. Begonia is this tightrope act of what do we believe here? So if people not familiar with Begonia, the storyline is Plemons' character kidnaps Emma Stone's character, who is like a CEO, like powerful woman, and claiming that she is an alien. Okay.
Which we're going to find out later in disclosure from Spielberg that aliens are real.
So, and you they both, including Emma Stone here, that you have to walk this tightrope of, is Jesse Plemons crazy or is he on to something? And it goes back and forth, back and forth. You're like, oh no, he's just crazy. Oh wait, no, she's an alien. Oh wait, no, he's crazy. And it goes back and forth. It's such a tightrope walk back and forth. I think it's a crime that he's not nominated here. I don't want to take anything away from the other 5 nominees, although I will say I would take Ethan Hawke out here and put Plemons there, without a doubt. So I wish we saw Jesse Plemons nominated here, but let's not take anything away from Jordan or Chalamet or whoever wins this. But yeah, I just think, just recognize the brilliance of Jesse Plemons. Pretty please.
What I wanted to end with was Timothy Chalamet. If he wins for Marty Supreme as lead actor, he'll match history of Tom Hanks, who won it for
Philadelphia and Forrest Gump.
Back to back. And I would argue, I don't know if Castaway was the next year or not. He could have got a triple header, or could have won 3 in his career, because I think Castaway's brilliant.
Trying to think, that was a few years later.
It might have been a few years later.
Trying to think of what would have been 95, Apollo 13.
He was no slacker on his films, but the thing is, Chalamet, he was wonderful. I said it. I think he encapsulated Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown, one of my favorite films of I guess the year before, right?
It was last year.
Yeah, last year.
Again, we're in 2026 now, so 2024.
2024, yeah. But I don't think he's gonna. I can see, Oscar making history and and all that, him tying it, but I think it's Jordan as a lock, and I hope for Michael B. Jordan that is what happens.
Yeah.
So, final category: Best in Show, Best Picture.
Thank you, Catherine O'Hara.
The nominees are Begonia, or do we have to? Okay, you do the next one, so we're both doing them. Okay, Begonia,
F1,
Frankenstein,
Hamnet,
Marty Supreme,
One Battle After Another,
The Secret Agent,
Sentimental Value,
Sinners,
and Train Dreams.
And I think we both agree One Battle After Another wins the Oscar.
I do think it's going to be One Battle After Another. If not, Sinners will sneak in there and get it. But I do think it's One Battle After Another. It has won most of the precursors. It won the Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and BAFTA. So I just think that this is the coronation of Paul Thomas Anderson after all of these years, 2-3 decades of making films without winning ever, and how brilliant his films have been. I mean, There Will Be Blood has long been considered his masterpiece, but it had the unfortunate timing of being up against No Country for Old Men, and I believe it was 2007. But I do think this is we get the PTA coronation and One Battle After Another. I think it's the most timely film because it's, it really does resonate with the politics of today. Great acting, great cinematography, great everything. I mean, it is my number one film of the year, and it's kind of.
It was my number 5, I think, but it was still, that's saying a lot for me.
So I really do hope it wins. I think it's more than deserving. As I said earlier, I really like a lot of these films. As they're all in my top 20 except for Frankenstein and Secret Agent, which I haven't seen, as I said. So I'm
Could
looking
Secret
forward.
Agent be a surprise from left field that we didn't see coming?
Probably not, because I think it'll people tend to think, especially with the international feature film, like that it'll win international feature film, and so that's where its award is. Like, rarely does that cross over, except for Parasite, a few years back.
Right.
But I do think this is One Battle After Another, or possibly Sinners. Sinners I could totally see winning.
Right. And if someone decides to turn on their air blower and blow leaves all around the neighborhood, I don't care. So my thoughts on it are, if we go with what we think would win Best Actor, because it kind of spread the love around between the actor and actress and supporting roles and lead as well. But if you've got Sean Penn winning actor for One Battle After Another, and you have Tiana Taylor getting it, then if they don't give it to One Battle After Another, it's going to seem weird. But then on the other hand, you got Michael B. Jordan winning for Sinners as actor. Then why doesn't Sinners win picture? It's, It's weird. Sometimes you can either make it a sweep of all the major categories, or you can give love to the individuals and still pick a different film.
And I tend to like that better when it's spread out, I do think that,
unless there's a movie that really just unites people and people are just like, yes, which most of the year it seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, One Battle After Another was, I won't say a uniting film, but a lot of people, the consensus is
most people thought it was great. Yeah.
And it's a very difficult film. It's interesting. It's not the film you think it is. Like I've said before many times, the first trailer, I was like, this movie's going to bomb. Who's going to watch this? I don't even know what this is. And then I saw the second trailer. I was like, this is going to be a great film. And then I saw it and I was very confused. And then I thought about it. Like you said, it's one you have to think on. And then I was like, yeah, this is a very good film. And I didn't get it at first. And now my dog's going to get upset. So
it might be a good time to wrap up. We got Leaf Blower and we got Barkley chiming in. Love you, Barkley.
We do.
So tune in Sunday, 7:00 on ABC, hosted by the great Conan O'Brien. Who do you think will win? Fill out your ballots, win some money. Not my money. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my money. But hopefully whoever you chose wins. And let us know in the comments your thoughts and concerns and all that fun stuff. Concerns? I don't know. Why didn't this win? I love the conversations after, because we're going to be doing a post show. I can't guarantee. Well, we think we are.
We'll see how busy we are.
We're both in new jobs, and so we're both working some incredible hours, and so we're going to do our best. It may be more than a week before we can even get together to even record our reactions, but we'll get them to you somehow. So
we'll do it. We'll get it done.
We'll get it there. Anyway, so I'm out of Geek Homeworld with my. Oops, let me hit the cue here. There's a cue. Where's my cue at? Where are you at? I had this in order. Okay, hide that. Oops, no,
nope,
that.
Not that.
That was the wrong one. Okay. Which one is it? Oh, is it this?
Scroll up, Ed.
Scroll up. Thank you. Where are you at? I'm looking for. I'm trying to.
You know what?
Here.
Go back down to best picture and hit hide.
Hide.
Boom.
There we go. That's all I had to do.
Thank you. You're welcome as your producer.
Thank you.
Where's my bonus?
I need a cinematographer, a videographer. I need somebody to control all this, run the show. But yeah, thank you, Scott, as always, for being here and being part of it.
Happy to do it.
And all that. So with that, I'm going to say adieu. Later.
Thanks for listening to another exciting episode of the Geek Homeworld podcast with your host, Ed, aka the Savage Tech Man. Remember to follow us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for being a part of the Geek Homeworld.